Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you how to distress your image and place it on a border straight in ProRIP, nothing required in Photoshop at all. So this is the image that we're going to do, and this is a picture that I took in Atlanta, and I just added this marquee here and this title and our logo. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is choose my cue. So I'm going to go over here. I have set up Color Boost. Now I'm doing this on Select Media, and I have a 550, so I can actually print on the B sheet. So mine is going to look different than yours. If you're using a 600 or an 800 or an Oki, you're going to just want to do this in your regular overprint queue. So again, I'm using Select B Color Boost. That's a print mode that I set up. And let's pull in our image. So I'm just going to click on it over here. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees because it's a landscape. I'm going to change my height. Now this is a full-size image, so I want to give myself some room here. So I'm going to choose 11. Actually, I'll probably go down a little bit more than that. 11 1/4. And then I'm going to center it up over here. I am going to adjust my colors. I want my blacks to be darker and my reds to be a little darker. And then I'm going to turn my brightness down a little bit. Again, I'm on a 550 and I'm printing to the B sheet, so my white coverage is going to be 225. Please use the correct setting for your white coverage for your media. And then I'm going to choose a choke of 3. Now, I am not going to enable ink removal because I'm going to do it with Knock Me Black Out. So I'm going to leave that enable ink removal unchecked and then hit OK. Now we're going to go up here to the Jobs panel, and we're going to choose CAD Link Effects Distressed Frames. We're going, this is going to come up. We're going to choose a preset. So let me just reset everything. So this is what it would look like for you. So I'm going to go over here to displacement, and I'm going to turn my displacement off. So you want to make sure that your displacement is off, because that will just move your image around. So I'm going to go back over here to frame, and I'm going to choose a preset. And I personally like worn edges for this. So I'm going to choose worn edges. I'm going to make sure that my border color is black. It is, because we're going to knock me black out. And then I don't want an edge tint at all unless it's black. So I'm going to go back down here to black. So then I'm going to hit OK. So again, we want our border color to be black because we're going to knock the black out. So I showed you all that. So let's make our texture all the way up there. We want our border size to be as small as we can make it because we're really wanting the full image to show through. We want no border erosion. Now, if you do, you can just play with the slider, but I don't want any border erosion. I want my frame size to be kind of small. You can go all the way up if you want, but I think I'm going to go to like maybe here. I want a smooth edge. So I'm just going to kind of go all the way up. And then border noise is where you're going to choose what kind of real edge you're going to have. So I'm going to bring my noise down. And just to give you an idea, this is 0. But we want a little bit. And this kind of helps you choose. I don't want any frame noise. I'm not very happy with that. Okay, I don't want any frame transition. So now we can bring this to where we want it. Okay, so that's what we're going to do there. Our distressed image together to give it a vintage look and get rid of more toner without using holes or lines or something like that. So we're going to go up to Jobs. We're going to go back down here to CAD Link Effects and go to Distressed. So I've done this, so let me just reset everything. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. We're going to go down here to our presets. Now, I have not figured out how to make this stuff up here work. So I'm just going to go down to this presets, and I'm going to choose weather worn because that's what I like. You can play with all of them and figure it out. Oh, this is what you have on the screen, and I'm sure you're thinking, no thanks. So let's go ahead and fix that up, and that's going to happen right here in this section. So we're going to bring our saturation back all the way. We're going to get rid of this tint color. We don't want any tint at all. Now you can leave this on, but you see what it would do? That would just make it look like a canvas or something along those lines. So I'm going to get rid of the preset mask altogether. And then I'm going to make my texture 100%, I think. So now I'm going to go to this highlight color. And again, this is where things start to get tricky. We want to make sure this is black. So we're going to drag this all the way down and hit OK. So now that's as black as we can get it right now. We're going to change our threshold to dark colors. Now there's this checkbox here, BW test for generated texture. That's just how you can see what your texture is going to look like. And so I'm going to stay in this section first because I want as much texture as I can get without it being too much, because as much toner as we can get rid of, the softer the shirt's going to be. So let's go ahead and see what we can come up with. All right, so we're going to go over here to generate texture. Again, we want to make sure, look at that, we want our texture to be fully black. We're going to add that to our custom colors and hit OK. So now let's mess around with this. Now, generally speaking, we're going to want more vertical streaks, in my opinion, than horizontal streaks, because it's this is going on a shirt, and more vertical streaks will match the fabric, the lines of the fabric more. So thickness is going to determine how much of the image that we're going to take away. Noise is going to determine how much scatter you get. So that's a lot right there, and you may want to bring it down. The thing that concerns me about noise is that the holes are going to be really small and you may get some glue stuck in there. So, you know, that I don't. All right, now this is where things kind of get interesting. So you can have them really small but have a lot of them. I don't really like that. Or you can make it bigger and have fewer of the pattern. So I think I'm going to go to about here. I like that. And my texture contrast, I'm probably going to make it, let's see what happens there. So this is going to give us some transparency, which we don't want. So let's make our texture contrast all the way so it's just black. Okay, and now we're going to click on this advanced mode here. And this is where we can really manipulate what these lines and things look like. So let's, so we're starting here at this streak stretch. So we can stretch those horizontal lines. That's what the H stands for. All right, and now here's our vertical lines. So we can stretch those even more. And then we can do a scale impact on the horizontal. We could bring that all the way down if we wanted. And actually that kind of looks pretty cool. And then we can do the same thing with our vertical lines. So that would not be good. Okay, and then you can choose your spatter size and your spatter amount. And so I don't think I want that much spatter. Okay, so I like that, and that's what we're going to go with. So now let's uncheck this box, and we'll see what it's going to look like on our shirt. So I think that looks pretty good. Again, I'm using select, so I feel like I can get rid of less. You know, if I were using standard or premium, maybe I would do more. So I'm just going to go over here, and I'm going to click OK. And it does take a minute. Okay. So now that that's rendered, we're going to go up here to Jobs. We're going to go to production plugins. And the first thing I want to do is knock out a specific color that gives me a little bit of trouble, and that's this brown here. Because that is not going to be knocked out with the black. So before we do the knockout black, let's get rid of this color. So this is the brown that I want to get rid of. So I'm going to click on it, and you'll see this changed color. And so I definitely want that. So now I want to add another color. And so I'm going to check on color 2. And let me move this over, and I want to make sure that goes away also. All right, and then there was one other that was giving me some trouble, and that's this gray down here. If you'll see there, it is not completely gone. So that is just extra toner that we don't need. And I could not get that to be knocked out with the black when I was practicing earlier. So let's add another color. And we're going to go in here. Let's see what that looks like. That's not the color I want, I don't think. Let's try that. Okay, that's what I want. So you see how much more black is knocked out? So let's just make sure that all the colors that we want are knocked out. They are. Okay, and so now let us go to knock me black out. So that takes a second to render. All right, and now let's go back up to jobs, production plugins, knock me black out. Now, the one thing that I am concerned about is this red. So I want to keep as much red as I can. So I'm going to come up here to this opaque, and I'm just going to pull that red back in, but still getting rid of all the black. I don't want anything but black to be gone, because I already knocked out the colors that I wanted to get rid of earlier. So I think that's looking pretty good. Let me go back down and let's take a look and see what our shirt color is going to do to that. So, all right, that looks good. I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to wait for that to render. Now I'm going to right click because I want to see what this is going to look like in my RIP. So I'm going to RIP only. And now I'm going to view raw data. And you can see that it's gotten rid of quite a bit of toner. But let's see exactly how much toner it's getting rid of. So we're going to just click on this box right here. And that's how much toner it's gotten rid of. So quite a bit. And this is a full color image. So that's looking pretty good. So I'm going to hit OK. And let us fit this in the screen. So that is what our printed image should look like. So I'm just going to go up here and I'm going to make sure that my media is in my tray, which it is, and I'm going to hit print. And I will see you guys in a little bit when I actually press it to the shirt.